Oh, this course is on control, or say feedback control, automatic control. So, well, if you want to control things, nowadays you need to control a lot of things, right? So, you might want to control a robot. You might control a like a airplane or rocket or whatever. So this is essential. You want to control things. You want things to move in a desirable way. You need to study control. So actually, this is a textbook we're going to use. It's authored by myself and another professor who is actually a famous professor in Louisiana State University in the US. So you see some examples here. See in the cover page. This is a satellite. This is the airplane. You have a boat. You have a like a vehicle. So in order to control those things, you need to have some sort of theory. So that's why we're going to do control theory this semester. And not only theory, we're going to also do experiment. We're going to, to control some real stuff, right? Okay, before we start the technical presentation, so I just want to talk about some logistics. So in this course, we're going to have maybe the first important thing is the grading scheme. So how you're going to finish the course and get the grade in the end. We're going to have a final exam. So this will be 50% of the whole grade. So we're going to have a midterm. This will be 20% of the whole grade. So the midterm will be held on 28th of March. And during this time, during this class time. So we're going to have homework. Maybe about 6 times. So every 2 weeks, we're going to have a set of homework problems. So I'll give you probably starting from this week, maybe on Wednesday, I'm going to give you the first set of homework. You will have 2 weeks to work on homework problems. In the end of 2 weeks, you submit your homework, and I'll give you this set. Okay, so that's how it works. So this will be about 6 times. We're going to also have a lab. Actually, that's the most important for the course. Not in terms of grade, but I really, I want to stress the importance of this part. We're going to work on some real stuff. What are the real stuff? Well, I can name some of them, and I'll show you some. One is a motor. That's probably simply the system you want to control. You want to control the motor speed. So like you see motors everywhere nowadays. Motor is easy to control, but we're going to do some other fancy stuff. We're going to control magnetic suspension or magnetic levitation system. So you will be able to control a metal a metal piece, a ball actually, in a magnetic field. So the ball floats in the air. That's one thing I want to control. Another thing I want to control is this so-called inverted pendulum. So inverted pendulum, you know, you see pendulum before. The inverted pendulum goes like this. You want to balance it. But you cannot balance it, you cannot hold it, you know, like directly. You can only move the base so that this thing balances. Right, so we're going to control several stuff like that. Some of you probably want, what is the lab schedule? The lab schedule will be fixed after I get all the enrollment in this course. So the lab time will be fixed according to your need, basically. We'll make sure that all of you will have, will be able to do the lab during your available time. So this will be 15%. We'll have 4 times, 4 labs. So roughly every 3 weeks you will run the lab. So each lab is about 3 hours. So in average, you work 1 hour per week in the lab, but you don't really work every week. You work like once every 3 weeks. Okay. So in the lab, probably I'll talk about more about the lab. You'll have to do pre-lab. You need to show up in the lab session. You need to write a report. Those details we'll worry about it later. So the lab scheduling actually is a big issue. So we're going to do it probably after Chinese New Year, and so that we'll make sure that every of you have a good schedule. So, any questions so far? Okay. If you have questions later on, you can also ask me. Textbook is this one. This book is out of print. You won't be able to buy it. We're going to give you basically a PDF version of this book in the Canvas system. We're working on the second version of this, second edition of this book. We haven't finished yet, so that's why we are not able to give this book to the publisher to have it printed. We're not going to cover the whole book. We're going to cover the first 4 to 5 chapters, depending on how far, how fast we go. And so some of you might wonder, what is the syllabus of this course? You can just look at the table of contents of this book, which will be available in the Canvas system. Okay, what else I want to say? Well, now, people talking about outcome-based education. They always ask me to give the so-called desired outcome of this course. Actually, it's kind of hard for me to give a specific outcome. This outcome-based education is new to me, and I don't really know what is the outcome. So let's just skip that. Yeah. What else I need to talk Okay, so probably we just go directly to an introduction. Okay. I don't think this is right. I should download. Tell me where can I find a download. Huh? The bottom. Down the bottom. Yeah?
Can you open Chrome again?
Open this
No. Chrome. The browser.
browser.
Google.
Browser.
Google.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Browser.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's here.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right. No, it opens in the browser. It doesn't look right. Is it in the downloads?
Yeah. Download.
That's it. Okay, introduction. So, what is the purpose of control? You know, what are the main tasks of doing control? I think there are two. One is stabilization. The other one is regulation. So what do they are mean by stabilization and regulation? I'm going to talk about those. Stabilization. You know, if you look at this word, it means that you need to stabilize something which might be unstable initially, you know, which might go in an undesirable way. Then you need to control it so that make it work in a proper way. Let's look at an example. Suppose you drive a car along a straight road. Alright, so you are the driver sitting there. Of course, the main purpose is to keep the car in the desirable position of the road. You don't want to go off the road. Clearly, without the driver, this car is going to go crazy. It's going to go. Very likely, it's going to go like to the side of the road. So this phenomenon is called instability. We say the system without controller is unstable. With the driver, so the driver now is a controller. With the driver, then you can, you know, possibly make it stable, basically. Keep the car roughly in the center of the road. Right? Intuition tells us this is possible. Okay, so this is actually a very simple control system. The car is the thing we want to control. The driver is the controller. So of course, in this control system, it's not a really automatic control. It's a manual control, or say it's a human control.